Okay, good evening, everybody. So today we will be doing the current affairs for the month of May, and I'll be giving you the snapshot for May, and then Ananyaman is going to have a detailed PPT across various topics. So before we get started, I just wanted to list down the important days for the month of May, and the theme and etc. We will do this in the PPT, but the days also give us a lot of information about important organizations, right? So it's based on that. So let's look at the important days. One is the 1st of May. Let's just look at. Yeah. So let's look at the important days now. The first day is 1st of May. Now, 1st of May is important because we have the statehood day for Gujarat and Maharashtra, right? So on the 1st of May, 1960, we had Gujarat and Maharashtra being carved out, and this was earlier called as Bombay Presidency, right? In fact, the month of May, we have three important state days. One is Gujarat. This is Gujarat and Maharashtra. Both these states were uh, carved out on the basis of language, right? And the static information here is that pre-independence, the first state in India to be carved out on the basis of language was Odisha, which is now called as Odisha, and this was 1st April 1936, and this is also known as Utkal Divas. This is also known as Utkal Divas, right? And uh, post-independence, the first state was the Andhra state, right? Post-independence, it was the Andhra state, and Andhra state, when the Telangana area was added, was later called as Andhra Pradesh, right? And so this state was, I think this was in 1954. This was the first state, Andhra state, which was carved out from Tamil Nadu on the basis of language, right? So 1st of May, Gujarat and Maharashtra ko remember that. The second day that we need to remember on the for the state thing is 16th of May, right? Why is 16th of May important? Because is uh, this is when we had the 36th constitutional amendment, and this amendment basically abrogated the 35th constitutional amendment, and Sikkim became a state. So Sikkim, after independence, this became a protectorate state, right? When we say it's a protectorate state, it means that defense and all the external relations was the subject of Government of India, but the internal matters of Sikkim was uh, under the kingdom of Sikkim, which was the Nangyal dynasty. 1974 was the 35th Amendment, when this absolute monarchy was converted to the constitutional monarchy, which is what we have, let's say in UK for that matter. And the 36th Amendment was Sikkim became a state, and this was 1975, 16th of May. The third state that we need to know for the month of May is 30th of May, which is Goa became the 25th state of India, and this was in 1987. Talking about Goa, Goa was Goa, Daman and Diu in the year 1961, 19th of December. This was, we took this place from the Portuguese, who ruled this for almost 450 years, Goa, Daman and Diu, and then it became a union territory, and thereafter, 30th of May 1987, it became the 25th state of India. So that's important again. And when we talk about Goa, we also, I mean, when we talk about taking over from the Portuguese, that operation was called as Operation Vijay. right? It was called as Operation Vijay. Goa is also the first state in India, in fact, pre-independence only 1867, that has the Unified Civil Code, right? And thereafter, after independence, the first state was last year, which is Uttarakhand, and now it is Gujarat. So 3 states in India have the Unified Civil Code. Pre-independence from 1867, we adopted the Portuguese law, was Goa, and now it is in um, Uttarakhand and Gujarat. Okay, so 3 statehood days over. Then the next thing is 3rd of May. 3rd of May is important because 2 things. It is the Press Freedom Day, right? Press Freedom, World Press Freedom Day, and the World Press Freedom Day. And what's also important here is that UNESCO, United Nations Education, Scientific and Cultural Organization, which is based at Paris. Khaled Amin is the Director General of this. UNESCO gives this award called the Guillermo Cano Press Freedom Award, right? Guillermo Cano Press Freedom Award. So Guillermo Cano was a Colombian journalist who was assassinated. He wrote against the drug mafia there in the year 1989. So it's named after him, Guillermo Cano Prize. And this has gone to the Sudanese journalist. It has gone to the Sudanese journalist, Sudan, right? So Sudan, there is a conflict between General Burhan, who is the president of Sudan, and the RSF, which is led by General Dugalo, right? So it's like a CISF or CRPF. So in fact, the capital Khartoum for the longest time was under the control of the RSF, which is under Dugalo. So the president is Burhan, General Burhan, right? He was earlier the army chief, and then he took over as the president, right? So remember, 3rd of May is UNESCO is Press Freedom Day, and UNESCO Guillermo Cano Prize. Also remember that there is a Press Freedom Index. There is a Press Freedom Index, and this is an important index for the month of May, right? The Press Freedom Index, rank 1 has gone to Norway, and rank 2 has gone to Singapore, and rank 3 has gone to Estonia, right? In fact, Modi ji also got the highest civilian award in Norway. He also got the highest civilian award in Sweden, and before that in Ethiopia, right? So these 3 countries. So Estonia is just one of the Baltic countries. So you have Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania, right? Singapore, you all know. So these are top 3 countries, and India has got a rank of 157, which is quite bad. And India is in the serious category, and the last one is Eritrea. So this is out of 180 countries, and the Press Freedom Index is by Reporters Without Borders, or Reporters Sans Borders, which is a France-based, Paris-based organization. Okay, so remember the Press Freedom Index. Okay, right. The next date that's important is 8th of May. So I'm just taking the important days. For instance, 7th of May is the World Athletic Day, but there's nothing much about it, so you can just chuck that. But 8th of May is the Red Cross Day. Red Cross. Okay. So during war and all, Red Cross people, they help, right? And this organization has got the Nobel Prize maximum times. It has got the Nobel Prize 3 times. And in fact, 8th of May is the birth anniversary of their founder, who was also the winner of the first Nobel Prize in the year 1901. His name is Henry Dunant, right? So Henry Dunant and Frederick Passy are the winners of the Nobel Prize for the year 1901 for peace, right? So again, when you're doing this, have a look at Nobel Prize as a static topic. So this is after Alfred Nobel, 1895 it was established, and initially it was given only in 5 areas. The Nobel Prize for Peace is given by the Norwegian Parliament, but the other Nobel Prizes, which is given in physics, chemistry, physiology, and literature, is given by the Royal Swedish Academy. For physics, chemistry, and physiology, you add Royal Swedish Academy of Science. The economics one was added in the year 1968 and this was funded by the Reserve Bank or the Central Bank of Sweden, called the Riksbank, called the Riksbank. All right, so Nobel Prize, right? And the last Indian American to get the Nobel Prize was Abhijit Banerjee in the year 2019, right? He got it along with two others. One of them was his wife, Tuplo, for economics, right? And you must know this, that the first person to win the Nobel Prize from India was Rabindranath Tagore, right? So Rabindranath Tagore becomes a personality of the month also, because his birth anniversary is 7th of May, right? Rabindranath Tagore, for a lot of his literary work, including Gitanjali, got the Nobel Prize in the year 1913. His birth anniversary is 7th of May. There is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, which was basically the abode of Rabindranath Tagore, that is known as Shanti Niketan. That is known as Shanti Niketan in Bengal, West Bengal, right? So, Amar Shora Bangla, which is the national song of Bangladesh, a national anthem, Jan Gan Mana, and even the national anthem of Sri Lanka is inspired by Rabindranath Tagore. Okay, so inspired by Jan Gan Man. So remember that. Okay, Shanti Niketan. He also gave up his knighthood after the Jallianwala Bagh massacre. So do the personality mapping of Rabindranath Tagore for the month of May. So every month, you will get some personalities that you have to watch out for. And I keep reiterating this. Month of January, there was Mahatma Gandhi quite a few times. So Mahatma Gandhi, Swami Vivekanand, General Karyappa, Subhash Chandra Bose, Lala Lajpat Rai become important personalities for the month of January. C.V. Raman, 20th of February is a National Science Day, becomes an important personality for the month of February, right? For the month of even the Congress President of 1925, Sarojini Naidu, the Nightingale of India, the first woman governor of United Provinces, right? That personality becomes important for the month of February. For the month of April, we have B.R. Ambedkar, right? So every month, the 14th of April, that's his birth anniversary. So every month you will have some personalities. Please read about them. That becomes okay. And Shanti Niketan, by the way, was the 41st or 42nd World Heritage Site. So India has got 44 World Heritage Sites. The 44th one is the fortification of the Maratha military landscapes. The 43rd one was the Ahom Moidams. The 42nd and the 41st was together. One was the Hoysala temples of Karnataka, and 41st was is basically Shanti Niketan. And 40th was the ancient shipping port, which is called as Dholevira. So you must generally have a list of the UNESCO World Heritage Sites. So that reminds me, Sikkim. We spoke about Sikkim, right? We spoke about the 36th Constitutional Amendment. Sikkim has a UNESCO World Heritage Site, which is the only mixed site that we have in India, and it is the Kanchenjunga Natural Sanctuary, right? In fact, the highest peak of India is in Sikkim, right? It is India-Nepal border is where Kanchenjunga is. Okay, so like that. The next important day is the 11th of May. The 11th of May is a very important day because it's a National Technology Day, right? National Technology Day. On this day, in the year 1998, when Atal Bihari Vajpayee was the Prime Minister, we tested 5 nuclear bombs, 11th of May and 13th of May. And okay, and this is known as Operation Shakti, right? Operation Shakti. And remember that prior to this, the first nuclear testing that we did was when the Iron Lady Indira Gandhi was the Prime Minister, and this was 18th of May 1974. So all these tests were done in Pokhran. This was known as Smiling Buddha. This was known as Smiling Buddha, right? And this is Operation Shakti. Okay, and this was done under the leadership of, the Prime Minister then was Atal Bihari Vajpayee. The mission leader was APJ Abdul Kalam. Okay, remember this. And as of now, the countries that have nuclear bombs, one is definitely the largest stockpile is with Russia, earlier USSR, and then it is USA, then it is France, UK, Israel, then we have North Korea, India, and Pakistan. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. China, 9. So there are 9 countries that have nuclear bombs. Okay, so remember this. This is the National Technology Day. The next important day that we need to remember is 22nd of May. Now, why 22nd of May? Because this is the International Day of Biodiversity. Okay, International Day of Biodiversity. So what are the critical things that we need to know is that we have COP17 this year of UN CBD, the United Nations Convention on Biodiversity, and this is going to be in the capital of Armenia, which is Yerevan, right? Yerevan is where the meeting is going to take place this year, Yerevan. Okay, COP16 was held in Colombia and concluded in Rome, and the headquarters of UNCBD is in Montreal. The headquarters of UNCBD is in Montreal, Canada. And this entire organization reports to UNEP, United Nations Environmental Program, which is based at Nairobi, Kenya. Okay. Now we also have the 5th of June coming up is a World Environment Day. So UNEP was set up on that day in the year 1972 when we had the first Human Environment Summit in Stockholm, Sweden. Right? So UNEP. All right. So this is done, and this is headed by Ingus Anderson. All right. So while we have done this biodiversity thing, also remember that UN Convention to Combat Desertification, COP17 is also this year, and this is going to be the capital of Mongolia, Ulaanbaatar. It is going to be in the capital of Mongolia, Ulaanbaatar, and COP16 was in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. Okay, COP16 was in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. So just remember this with biodiversity. Please have a look at the theme. It should be mentioned in the slides here. The next day I want you to do is 25th of May, and 25th of May is the World Football Day, and this was announced last year when the Olympics were being held. 25th of May, 2024, this was announced. Okay? 25th of May, 2024, this was announced. And why? Because 100 years ago, the first football match, international match, took place in Paris, right? So UN has declared this as the International Day or the World Football Day. And the last day that I want you to know is 29th of May. And is the International Day of UN Peacekeepers. It's the International Day of UN Peacekeepers, right? Now, why is this important? Is because 3 important awards have been given to Indians. One is Dag Hammarskjöld Award. So Dag Hammarskjöld was the second Secretary General of UN after Tigger Lay, and he died in a plane crash, and one of the most popular Secretary Generals, so it's named after him. Now, Dag Hammarskjöld Award is given to UN peacekeepers who die, during a mission, a UN mission, right? So 2 Indians have been awarded this, and you should know the names. One is Havaldar Harbhajan Singh. And the other one is Naik Subedar Sujit Kumar. So these 2 names you should know, right? And also the advocate, the military general advocate of the year award is also given. Military General Advocate of the Year award, and that's again gone to an Indian. Her name is Abhilasha Berte. Okay, Abhilasha Berte has got the the UN Secretary General Advocate of the Year award. So these three names you should know. One is Harbhajan, the other one is Sujit Kumar, and the other third one is Abhilasha, right? And the award to Abhilasha was given by the Secretary General of UN, Antonio Guterres. Okay, Antonio Guterres, right? So these are some of the important days for the month of May. Now, what are the important things that come to my mind when I discuss about May? Let's just have a look at it. Right. So let's look at something from RBI. Yes, RBI was in news last month. So what I'm doing right now is just doing a top of the mind recall so that I'm able to just list down. The rest is going to be on the PP. One is RBI. Why was RBI news? Because we have a new deputy governor of RBI. So we have a new deputy governor, Rohit Jain. Right? So how many deputy governors are there in RBI? There are 4 deputy governors. So we have the governor of RBI, that's Sanjay Malhotra. He's the 26th governor of RBI, right? And there are 4 deputy governors. So the new appointee is Rohit Jain. There is one woman who is a deputy governor, Poonam Gupta. Then we have Murmur, the third one, and the fourth one is Swaminathan. The 4 deputy governors, right? RBI was Government of India Act 1934, 1st April 1935, RBI was set up. This is the 91st anniversary of RBI. Okay, and so April we did RBI. We have discussed about all the tools that RBI has, like the MSF, bank rate, right, repo rate, right, reverse repo rate, CRR, SLR. We discussed this in the month of April, right? So RBI becomes a very important topic. What else? The second news that comes to my mind is Puneet Sood. Puneet Sood. Now, why is this guy important? Because he's been given an extension, but the organization is what we have to look at. CBI. This is neither a constitutional body nor a statutory body. Delhi Police Act 1942, I guess, CBI came into force. So please have a look at the Central Bureau of Investigation. Have a look at this organization. So every topic, I want you to read about the static topics that's that comes out of it. Okay. The next thing that we have to look at is some of the important appointments that have taken place for the month of May. So the first thing that comes to my mind is we have a new CDS now, right? So the first CDS, CDS is Chief of Defence Staff. The first CDS was Bipin Rawat. He died in a helicopter crash when he was going to Wellington. And then we had General Ajay Chauhan, who was just handed over to Subramani, right? To Raja Subramani. I think Subramani is the name. Subramani is what you can remember. You'll have the full name, but Subramani is the answer. Okay, so we have the new CDS, the Subramani. So CDS is basically looking at the tri-services, Army, Navy, and Air Force, right? And he has taken over from Ajay Chauhan. He's the third CDS. We also have a new naval chief, new Navy chief. And who is a new Navy chief? Swaminathan, right? The new Navy chief is Swaminathan, right? So Dinesh Tripathi was the previous one, and now we have a new naval chief, that's Swaminathan. Okay. So while we do this, you should know that the Army chief is General Upendra Dwivedi, and Upendra Dwivedi is the 32nd chief of the Army chief, and then we have the Air Chief, which is Amarpreet Singh, right? Amarpreet Singh. So know the names of all these guys. Subramani and Swaminathan is what you need to know, right? What else? Then we have the International Booker Prize. I think that's very important. International Booker Prize is given by the same organization that gives the Booker Prize. And International Booker Prize, if I'm not mistaken, it started in the year 2005. And you should, last year, in fact, Bhanu Mustaq from India, for a book called Heart Lamb, got the International Booker Prize. And this year, we have people from Taiwan winning it. So there is a translator, and then there is the person who writes the book, right? So these are books that are published in English in UK and Ireland, but they could be in some other language, and a translator translates into English, and they have to be published in UK or Ireland, right? So this year, just remember, one is Yang. She is the writer of the book from Taiwan, and the other person is King, and they have a whole name to it so that you can remember. So Yang and King is what you need to remember. So when we are doing International Booker Prize, also have a look at all the Indians who have won the International Booker Prize till date. Also have a look at the Booker Prize that Indians have won so far. Okay. Then the next award that Indians have won is the Pulitzer Prize, the Pulitzer Award, which has gone for journalism. Please have a look at the Pulitzer Prize also, because 2 Indians have got this award this time. So have a look at the Pulitzer Prize. This is given for journalism, right? So, right. What else comes to my mind is an exercise, military exercise that we did with Cambodia this time. And this was the second edition of that military exercise, which is called as Simbax, So Cambodia and India military exercise was held in Cambodia. So that's the Simbax, right? From the world of sports, the French Open has started, and the French Open is being, so June we'll have the final winners and all, but the French Open started in May, and this is played at Roland Garros, right, which is in Paris. And this is the third Grand Slam that started. The first Grand Slam was Wimbledon, which started in 1877. The second, which is in London, Wimbledon is a place in London. The second Grand Slam was the US Open, which started in the year 1881, which is played at Flushing Meadows, which is in New York. And the third Grand Slam was the French Open, 1890. And the final one was the Australian Open, which obviously was in January. And this it's already been done. So this time the winner was Carlos Alcaraz and Rabaenka from Kazakhstan. She won the in the women's one, right? So let's see who wins the French Open this time. Carlos, Alcaraz, and Sinner both are out, and let's see who wins in the women's section, right? So the French Open, IPL has happened, so that's, I'm sure you all know about it. RCB has won it back to back. Okay. The next important thing that we need to know for this month, just a couple of them, I think. The 79th meeting of the World Health Assembly, the 79th meeting of the World Health Assembly, and JP Nadda, who is the health minister, represented us. In fact, if you remember, last month, 7th of April, is a World Health Day. So we should know about World Health, WHO, World Health Organization. Tedros Ghebreyesus is the Director General of World Health Organization, and it was set up on the 7th of April, 1948, and the headquarters is in Geneva. So that's where they had the 79th meeting, or the 79th Assembly, as they call it. The next thing is IPCA. IPCA is important because this is the International Big Cat Alliance, in which we're talking about 7 big cats. 5 of them are found in India. Puma and Jaguar are not found. The rest are found in India. And IPCA's meeting is going to be held in India this year in Delhi. And we have added the 26th member to it, right? So 50 years of Project Tiger, April 2023, it was initiated. And now we have the 26th member of IPCA, which is Saudi Arabia, right? So this comes under the Ministry of Environment, and the person who is heading it, the president of this, is our Environment Minister, Bhupender Yadav, right? So I guess I'm done with the important news. I think now we can go through the PPT. Already done. So over to Ananya ma'am now. It's there on.
Okay, children, welcome to today's session, and I welcome you all to the May Current Affairs. Sir has given you the basic snapshot of everything that you have to basically keep in mind, and now we will get into the basics, the basic PPT and every important information that you have to keep in mind. Now, a lot of you might be doing this for the first time, the live session for the first time. So this is a session which we do every month at the end of the previous month, and basically in the first week of every month that we cover the current affairs for the last 1 year, for the last 1 month. So today is the 3rd of June and we are covering current affairs for May. This will be a cycle every month. So every month we prepared for it. Also in this we cover the major important topics that you have to keep in mind, all the key pointers about it that you have to keep in mind. Obviously, we do take up further details of it in our classes respectively. And whatever is not here means that it is not something that is highly anticipated for the exam, but you will get it in the magazine. All right. So both the session as well as the magazine is what you all have to go through concertedly together. Okay. All right. So now quickly moving forward with May. We begin with the May, important days for May, and the first is 1st of May. Now on 1st of May, we have 2 days that are consecutively celebrated. One is the Labor Day, or also known as May Day, and the second is the Maharashtra and Gujarat. All right. So quickly looking into the May Day. Now mostly we associate it with Russia, in the sense why? Because Russia was this first country which actually started undertaking concerted steps for upliftment of the peasants, upliftment of the working classes, and in Russian terms, upliftment of the proletariat. All right. But this particular day is actually to commemorate the 1st of May 1886 strike, which actually took place in Chicago in USA. All right. So this particular strike, which took place in Chicago, where around 400,000 workers went on strike at the Hay Market Affair, became that one commemorative point to commemorate which we celebrate globally 1st of May as International Day of Worker Solidarity. All right. India first celebrated it in 1923, and this 1923 1st of May was actually undertaken after the Communist Party of India was established. All right. Now, the Communist Party of India, CPI, was established for the first time outside India. Outside India, it was established in 1920, and naturally, it was established in Soviet Union, and more specifically in Tashkent. Uzbekistan was back then part of the Soviet Union. So it was there that the Communist Party of India was established, and then it was under the influence of the Communist Party that we in India undertook the celebrations of the Labor Day or May Day. All right. But the Communist Party in India effectively came into existence in 1925. All right. So last year, we've had in December itself, 26th of December 2025, we celebrated 100 years of the Communist Party of India. So relate it with that and do keep it in mind. All right. So in 1923, it was led by the Labour Kisan Party of Hindustan. Why? Because till 1923, the Communist Party of India was not effectively established in India, within India. All right. Then the theme is ensuring a healthy psychosocial working environment. Now, whichever days that we do, what is the basic information that you have to keep in mind is that when was it first established? What is the reason for the celebrations under this particular day? And if there is any significant important fact that is associated with it. Okay. Now, quickly moving ahead, the next is 1st of May, which is also observed as Maharashtra Day. Why Maharashtra Day? Because it was in 1st of May 1960 that the erstwhile state of Bombay was bifurcated along linguistic lines in 1960, and Bombay was bifurcated into 2 parts. One was the Marathi speaking Maharashtra and the other was the Gujarati speaking Gujarat. All right. So do keep in mind 1st of May, Maharashtra Divas, also called Maharashtra Divas or Maharashtra Rajya Sthapana Divas, every year on 1st of May to mark the formation of the state of Maharashtra. This year it has been the 66th Maharashtra Day, came into existence on 1st of May 1960 when the Bombay Reorganization Act was enacted. All of this was enacted as per the provisions of the States Reorganization Commission of 1956. All right. Achha. Which article of the Constitution provides for bifurcation of states, creation of new states, separation of states? etc. It is Article 3. All right. Article 3 specifically calls for the bifurcation of states, separation of states, change in boundaries, alteration, etc. So do remember Article 3, and it was under the provisions of Article 3 that Bombay state was bifurcated into two: Marathi-speaking Maharashtra and Gujarati-speaking Gujarat. All right. The day commemorates the Samyukt Maharashtra movement and the 106 Hutatmas or martyrs who died during the agitation for a separate Marathi-speaking state within Mumbai as its capital. All right. Do remember again that the first state to be bifurcated on linguistic lines was Andhra Pradesh, and Andhra Pradesh was bifurcated in 1953. Now, Andhra Pradesh was the first state to be bifurcated after independence. The state to be bifurcated before independence along linguistic lines was Odisha in 1937, and that day was 1st of April, and 1st of April every year we celebrate as Utkal Divas. Okay, so do keep in mind that. All right, then moving ahead, 3rd of May, World Press Freedom Day. Why is this important? Because on this day we also, the World Press Freedom Index is also launched. Because of that, the day becomes important. All right, so it has been proclaimed by UNESCO's General Conference since 1993. It was first observed on 3rd of May 1994. Why do we celebrate it on 3rd of May? Because it is the anniversary of Windhoek Declaration on promoting the independent and pluralistic African press, adopted at the UNESCO seminar in Windhoek in Namibia on 3rd May 1991. This year, the theme is Shaping a Future Peace, post Lusaka, Zambia. And also on this very day, we have the RSF index, which is Reporter Sans Borders. And this is also known as your Press Freedom Index. All right. So India's Reporter Sans Frontiers, RSF stands for Reporters Sans Frontiers, which is also translated to Reporters Without Borders. All right. And this year, India's rank has been 157 out of 180. Do remember it, due to which India lies in the very serious zone category, and it is down from 151. So last year we were still fairly fine with it. This year we fared worse. All right. The country to rank number 1 has been Norway, followed by Estonia, Finland, Netherlands, etc. Right? Nordic bloc still continues at the top. Then global takeaways from this: RSF says that the global average score is at a 25-year low, and over half of all the countries fall in the difficult or very serious. All right. Also, UNESCO has this award which is known as the Guillermo Cano Press Freedom Prize, and this is also given or concerted or announced on the Press Freedom Day itself. So two things happen on the day. One is the announcement of the award, and the other is the Press Freedom Index. Okay. So this year the award has been given to, the award has been named after Colombian editor Guillermo Cano Isasa. All right. Okay. Then coming to the next is 8th of May, which is World Red Cross Day. This particular day is to commemorate the birth anniversary of Henry Dunant. Do remember his name. Why? Because he undertook the establishment of International Committee of Red Cross, and this society was basically to look after or to provide healthcare or medical facilities or hospital facilities to people who have been injured in war or who have been participating in wars and not been getting the effective medical help. All right. So he undertook this establishment of this particular society in 1920, which provides disaster relief and healthcare with the President of India as its president and the Union Health. This is in India. All right. And Henry Dunant undertook its establishment in 1820 in the early 20th century. And he was also the first Nobel Peace Prize laureate, all right, sharing the prize with Frederick Passy. Okay. All right. Then 11th of May, we have the National Technology Day. Again, this year, nuclear energy is very important. Do keep in mind a lot of information pertaining to nuclear energy this year. Two significant things is that we are still continuing or running the National Nuclear Mission that was launched last year. So we have the National Nuclear Mission which was launched in 2025, and it was announced in the budget itself of 2025. So last year it was launched. The basic key provisions of the mission, that rupees 20,000 crore of rupees have been aligned in this mission. The mission aims to undertake development of 5 small modular reactors. These 5 small modular reactors are to be established to facilitate effective harnessing of nuclear energy. Why effective harnessing of nuclear energy? Because again, India has an aim, India has an agenda to generate 1 lakh megawatt or 100 gigawatt of nuclear energy by 2047. All right. So the and plus we also have an agenda to increase our present nuclear energy generation capacity. The present is approximately 8,000 megawatt. We want to increase it to roughly 22,000 megawatt by 2031-32. All right. Aligning with all of these agendas, we launched the National Nuclear Mission. So it is still in continuation this year. Then this year, another thing happened, that is India achieved criticality or achieved its first fast breeder reactor technology, where in the Kalpakkam nuclear power plant in Tamil Nadu. All right. So this has been achieved. Do remember Kalpakkam. Do remember this National Nuclear Mission. And the third most important thing pertaining to the nuclear energy has been the Shanti Act. Through the Shanti Act, the government seeks to incorporate or bring in participation of private players in the nuclear sector. So a lot has been happening in terms of current affairs in the nuclear sector, due to which nuclear energy and nuclear energy sector is a much anticipated question in the exam this year. So keep an eye out for it. Now coming back to May, 11th of May, we celebrate National Technology Day. Why do we celebrate 11th of May as National Technology Day? Because we undertook our second nuclear test, also known as Pokhran 2, code-named as Operation Shakti. This was undertaken under the Prime Ministerial tenure of Atal Bihari Vajpayee. And to commemorate, and this entire testing took place on a span of 3 days. That is from 11th of May to 13th of May, 1998. All right. So from 11th to 13th of May, we undertook Operation Shakti. And to commemorate the success of that nuclear test, where we undertook 5 nuclear tests, 11th of May is celebrated or commemorated as National Technology Day. All right. However, it was not Operation Shakti or 1998 when we for the first time undertook our nuclear test. India became a nuclear power in 1974. 18th of May 1974 was the first time that we undertook nuclear testing, and that operation was codenamed as Operation Smiling Buddha, also known as Pokhran 1. That was undertaken under the Prime Minister Indira Gandhi. So do remember all of this information. And this particular testing was undertaken under the leadership of Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee and APJ Abdul Kalam. In the same field, we also undertook the testing of Trishul missile and indigenous helicopter Hansa 3. The first National Technology Day is celebrated on 11th of May 1999, just 1 year after. And 18th May 1974 was India's first nuclear test, Operation Smiling Buddha, Pokhran 1. Do remember the Prime Minister, Mrs. Indira Gandhi. This year the theme is Responsible Innovation for Inclusive Growth. Okay. Then coming the next one is 16th of May, which is the Statehood Day for Sikkim. Here Sikkim became the 22nd state of India after the 36th Amendment Act of 1975. All right. So through the 35th Amendment, Sikkim became an associate state for India. It also, through the 35th one, okay, not the 36th, the 35th Constitution Amendment Act, India became an associate, Sikkim became an associate state of India, and it resulted in inclusion of Article 2A in the Constitution. Then in 1975, we had the 36th Constitution Amendment Act, where after Sikkim became a full-fledged state of India in 1975. So this is Sikkim statehood day. And before joining India, it was a monarchical region headed by or undertaken by the Chogyal dynasty, Chogyal monarchy under the Namgyal dynasty. All right. So a public referendum was held in 1975, which called for amalgamation of Sikkim into India and bringing to an end the monarchical system. Now, what is a referendum? A referendum is a public vote. All right, it is an instrument of direct democracy where anything that the government wishes to do or the ruling authority wishes to do in the country, they put it to vote with the people. The people vote for it, vote for in favor or against it. If the people vote with a yes in majority, then such and such action policy program is implemented. If they vote against it, then such and such law policy program is scrapped. All right. The referendum is public voting to take the opinion of the public and then to decide on it accordingly. All right. Now, Sikkim is known for its Clat culture, Buddhist monasteries, etc. All right. Then next is 22nd of May, which is celebrated as World Biodiversity Day. All right. So celebrated every year on 22nd May. Do remember 22nd May is International Biodiversity Day. 22nd March is International Water Day. Now you will tell me what do we observe on 22nd of April in the comments. All right. Theme is acting locally for global impact. Initially, the second committee of UNG in 1993 had designated 29th of December when the CBD, what is CBD? CBD is Convention on Biodiversity. Okay, Convention on Biodiversity. Now, we had this one particular convention, which is considered as that first convention to actually effectively take concerted steps for sustainable development and conservation of the earth. All right. This particular summit is known as the 1992 Rio Earth Summit. All right. So this Rio Earth Summit is effectively the summit which was the first summit, and this first summit resulted in concerted steps and initiatives undertaken to be, bring about effective sustainable development of the global world order. Under this summit itself, there were 3 sister organizations that were established, or sister groupings that were established. So one was the UNFCCC. What does it stand for? United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change. The other was UNCBD, which stands for United Nations Convention on Biodiversity. And the third is UNCCD, which stands for United Nations Convention to Combat Desertification. All right. So all of this has been undertaken in 1992 itself. So in 1993, just 1 year after the Rio Earth Summit, they designated 29th of December, the date when the United Nations Convention of Biodiversity was enforced as the International Day for Biodiversity. However, in December 2000, the United Nations General Assembly adopted 22nd of May as International Day of Biodiversity to commemorate the adoption of the text of the convention on 22nd May 1992. All right. Now, 2026 observance continues to build on the Kunming-Montreal Global Biodiversity Framework, which was adopted in 2002. And what is the purpose of the Kunming-Montreal? To restore and manage habitat loss by 2030. So in 2022, the KM Global Biodiversity framework was adopted because under this framework, they basically ideated that they are going to undertake restoration of biodiversity by 2030. All right. Also, do remember static information, very important, that the term biodiversity was coined by Walter G. Rawson in 1985. All right. Okay. Now, this year we have the COP17, that is Conference of Parties, number 17 of the UNCBD. Where is this to be held? This year is in Yerevan in Armenia, and this Conference of Parties was adopted in 1992 itself when the first summit took place, when the entire body actually came into existence, and this serves as the supreme decision-making body of global biodiversity governance. Do keep in mind the theme, although the theme for this is not very important. Themes mostly are not asked in the exam, but then do remember the themes of certain important ones like the Republic Day, etc. But do not kill yourselves over learning the theme, okay? Then logo significance, it features an Erivan anomalous blue butterfly symbolizing local biodiversity linked to global goals, uses 23 blended colors representing the interdependence of 23 biodiversity targets. Okay. The 28th of May is Menstrual Hygiene Day. Why is Menstrual Hygiene Day important? Because this year in January, in December, I think, in January, the Supreme Court has given a verdict saying that right to menstrual hygiene, is a part of fundamental rights under Article 21. All right. So pertaining to this judgment, do remember the day of menstrual hygiene. Okay. If the judgment hadn't come, in all probability it wasn't appointed, but because we have the judgment this year, that is why you need to keep the date. All right. The Menstrual Hygiene Day will be observed globally on 28th of May. Period Friendly World is the theme this year, observed annually since 2014 and coordinated by WASH United, with support from organizations including UN Children's Fund, that is UNICEF. Then Indian Supreme Court has recognized menstrual hygiene as part of fundamental rights under Article 21 in 2026. All right, then coming to 29th of May, which is International Day of UN Peacekeepers. Now, why is this important? Because this year, the Dag Hammers Gold Award has been extended to 2 people from India. Also, we have a UN Gender Equality in the Armed Forces Award, which has been extended from a female from India. And other than that, also the UN peacekeeping forces are significantly important for India, because India is the largest contributor in terms of soldiers or man force to the UN peacekeeping forces. All right. Another thing very basic about it that you need to remember is that the UN peacekeepers are also known as blue helmets. Why are they known as blue helmets? Because they're soldiers, they basically wear a blue helmet. Blue is the color of the United Nations. All right. So pertaining to that, this is under. All right. So you all can go through it. The day aims to honor the service and sacrifice of UN peacekeepers. Since 1948, over 2 million peacekeepers have served more than 70 United Nations peacekeeping missions. This year, the theme is Invest in Peace. UN peacekeepers are known as blue helmets, and India is one of the largest contributors to UN peacekeeping forces. Okay. Now, quickly coming to the home affairs. The first is the new citizenship rules of 2026. These have been notified this month by the Union Ministry of Home Affairs. So what is it? The 2026 amendment is a comprehensive overhaul of the Citizenship Rules 2009. First, you need to remember that which rule is it bringing a change about in. It is the Citizenship Rules of 2009. And what does it actually seek to control? It is the OCI status, that is Overseas Citizens of India status, and this is pertaining to just strengthening or tightening certain controls over the OCI card holder. All right, from a hybrid, and also it is now going to bring about digitization of the entire OCI process and framework. All right, so status from a hybrid paper and ink system to a fully digital framework, introducing electronic or e-OCI registrations to streamline overseas Indian identity services. Authorities, Union Minister of Home Affairs. Please tell me who is the Union Minister of Home Affairs. Then coming to the aim. Is somebody messaging? Are you all messaging? Who is Abhilasha Barak? Okay, yes, Tika, she's won it for the UN peacekeepers. My question is Union Minister of Home Affairs. Pata? Okay. Then to phase out duplicative physical paperwork and create a paperless identity ecosystem, to tighten norms surrounding dual citizenship. Now, duplicative in the sense that if you are giving in written documents, etc., or are doing paperwork, then naturally there could be instances which could maybe result in duplication of documents, etc., which could be a problem. So this does not happen. That is why we are digitizing it, that once you filled it, you have this ID that has been generated, you have a document that has been generated, so naturally you can't reappear for it. So digitization makes it more responsible in nature. Then dual citizenship norms have been tightened, specifically around minors. All right. So in the sense that if you are a minor, mostly the law that we extend to minors from India is simply this, that in case you're below 18 years of age, then you have the right to hold the passport of whichever country that you're living in, and also of India. And then we extend this right to this child that when the child turns 18, then the child can decide for himself whether he wants to remain, he wants to be a citizen of India and wants to hold an Indian passport, or he wants to hold the passport of whichever country that he's living in. Okay. So this is now going to be tightened. Then to simplify registration, renunciation, and cancellation processes through a centralized electronic registry. Now you don't have to physically appear to cancel your registration process, etc. You can do so through a e-application itself. Okay. Then key features: ban on dual passport for minors. Now they can't hold passports of two countries. If you are holding an Indian passport, you can only hold an Indian passport, can't have another passport. Previously, you could hold passports of two countries, and then when you turn 18, then you can decide whether you want to be an Indian citizen or a citizen of some other country. Then introduction of EOCI, fully online applications, biometric integration, all of this has been incorporated. Then streamlined appeals, that it will be undertaken only handled by an authority one rank higher than the original decision maker, a centralized registry. About overseas citizens of India, it was introduced by the Citizenship Amendment Act of 2005, and this amendment was amendment to the Citizenship Act of 1955. Then in 2015, what did they do? They undertook the merging of the person of Indian origin card scheme with the overseas citizens of India scheme. Okay. Then eligibility: who were citizens of India on 26 January 1950 or thereafter, or were eligible to become citizens of India on 26 January 1950. Now, while during the entire partition process, there was this entire refugee crisis, that there were a lot of Indians who left India, went to Pakistan. There were a lot of people from Pakistan who came to reside in India. They did not wish to live in Pakistan. But then there were a lot of people who were pretty confused about it. They couldn't decide whether they want to live in India, they want to go to Pakistan. In case that they've left their properties in Pakistan, then they came to India. So you naturally have to begin from scratch, which resulted in a lot of confusion and everything. So it was basically opened that till 1950, etc. A lot of people, they came back, they went back, etc., etc. So if you were eligible by 26th of January, etc., etc., that could be one of the eligibilities that you could become an overseas citizen of India. Exceptions: who is or had been a citizen of Pakistan, Bangladesh, or such other country as the government may specify. So as of now, we had the Citizenship Amendment Rules in 2019. As per the provisions of the Citizenship Amendment Rules of 2019, it was specified that India is going to extend citizenship to the exterminated communities or exterminated people belonging to the communities of Hindus, Parsis, Buddhists, Jains, Christians living in Afghanistan, Pakistan, Bangladesh, if they come to India, because they have been, discriminated against, or certain extreme steps have been undertaken against them, and they can get citizenship of India at a much earlier time as compared to Muslims coming from these countries. All right. For example, the Muslims, if they are migrating from Afghanistan, Pakistan, and Bangladesh into India, then they had to stay in India for around 11 years consecutively before they could apply for citizenship. But for these persecuted communities, they can apply for citizenship after living 4 to 5 years in India. All right. So here also, for this OCI card holders, they have undertaken an exception, and the exception is simply this, that Pakistan, Bangladesh, as of now, we are not extending citizenship, but then later the government may specify and note it. Okay. All right. Then the constitutional provisions related to it. Do remember that Articles 5 to 11 in Part 2 of the Constitution deal with the citizenship provisions. All right. Just the articles are enough. You don't need to get into the details. Although you can keep in mind that Articles 5 to 8, they basically deal with citizenship based on domicile, migration, and descent. Domicile in the sense that you have been born here, migration in the sense that you migrate from an outside country, and descent is that your parents, etc., were Indian citizens. All right. Then Article 9 is voluntary acquisition of foreign citizenship leads to loss of Indian citizenship. This simply says that in case you undertake dual citizenship, that you've not informed the Indian authorities, but you become the citizen of some other country, then your citizenship with India will automatically be abrogated. All right. And other than that, Article 10 and 11, they talk about renunciation of citizenship, that you can renounce it by a declaration, etc. Okay. The Citizenship Act, it governs acquisition and loss of citizenship after January 26, 1950. Modes of acquisition: birth, descent, registration, naturalization, and incorporation of territory. Loss of citizenship are 3 types: renunciation, termination, and deprivation. Okay. Do remember the numbers and the names. Then Sikkim becomes the first paperless judiciary of India. Sikkim has been declared the first paperless judiciary. The state's name is important. Sikkim was also the first organic state of India. Sikkim is also now the first paperless state of India. This year we've had 51st found statehood day for Sikkim. So all of this makes Sikkim important. Okay, so do keep in mind. Okay, then what is a paperless judiciary? Obviously, a judiciary which is fully digitized. So when it is no paperwork, then the government basically believes that speedy decisions, speedy processes would be undertaken. All right. Key features: end-to-end digitization, virtual connectivity, real-time case tracking, integration of AI tools, expansion of e-seva kendras. Okay. Then all of this paperless judiciary, etc., has been undertaken under one of the programs of the government, which is the e-courts mission mode project. All right. So under this e-courts mission mode project, the Supreme Court had basically a vision to transform the Indian judiciary by digitizing processes of the Indian judiciary. All right. And it has been rolled out under 3 phases. Then increase in the number of Supreme Court judges, children, very, very. Everybody is preparing for the Clat exam. We're going to enter the judiciary. Very important. Okay. All right. So now the Union Cabinet has approved the Supreme Court number of judges amendment bill. This particular amendment bill seeks to increase the total number of judges from presently 33 plus 1 to 37 plus 1. Okay. So presently we have 34 judges, including the Chief Justice of India, in the Supreme Court, which they seek to increase to 38 now, including the Chief Justice of India. Okay. Which article provides for the same? It is Article 124 of the Indian Constitution, which provides for the establishment of Supreme Court. And under Article 124(1), it empowers the Parliament to determine the number of judges. So initially, it was to be 7 or equal to 7. And since then, we've had innumerable amendments to it under the Supreme Court Number of Judges Act 1956, consecutively amended in 1977, 1986, 2008, and 2019, which has increased the number of judges till 34 till 2019. Now the cabinet has passed it, and actually we are waiting for parliamentary assent and then assent of the president. All right. So now it is to be increased to 38. All right. Also, 5 new judges have been recommended for appointment to the Supreme Court. So one is Senior Advocate V. Mohana, who has been directly chosen from the bar. Then Justice Sheel Nagu, the High Court of Punjab and Haryana. Justice Sri Chandrasekhar from the High Court of Bombay. Sanjeev Sachdev from High Court of Madhya Pradesh. And Justice Arun Palli, High Court of Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh. Do remember the names of these 5 new recommended. All right, then VBG Ramji, Viksit Bharat, Guarantee Rozgar Evam Ajivika Mission Gramin. This was a part of a December current affairs. I have taken it up in detail there, so I can go back, revise. The new space for this month is that it has to be enforced by the 1st of July 2026. All right. First thing, that because since the BJP government has been in power, since Modi ji has been in power, Modi ji has kept this one wonderful person who keeps on making these acronyms for him to basically showcase that how intelligent that person is and to make your life difficult, that you have to learn all of these acronyms. Okay. Full forms are asked in the exam. So make sure that all of these full forms that they do put forward must be on your fingertips. All right. So again, you need to remember the full form of VP Ramji. What does it say? It says, or it provides for increase in the total number of days that rural people or villagers or farmers will be provided employment for from 100 days to 125 days. Now, VBG Ramji is a centrally sponsored scheme. What is a centrally sponsored scheme? Is that its expenditure, its funding, its management, governance, administration will be shared between the central government and the state government. What will be the ratio of this sharing? 90:10 for other states and for northeastern and Himalayan states, and 60:40 for other states. All right, that is plain area states. Okay. Then budget capped by central government, then demand driven. Now previously Manrega was a demand driven program, in the sense as and how the people enroll themselves from Manrega, and if there is shortage of funds, then the central government is going to allocate more money. Now the central government is going to put a budget cap, in the sense that the central government is going to put forth one total amount of money allocation, and then whatever money is fallen short of, that will be allocated by the state government. All right. So central government is going to budget cap it, and the state government is going to manage the added expenses. All right. So extra monetary allocation will be done by the states. Now the states will also announce an agriculture pause of 60 days. This agriculture pause of 60 days is basically the period where the farmers or the villagers will go back to their agriculture activities. They're going to go back to their farming activities, and for this period that they are working in their farms, no public works will be undertaken in the village, and the government, the state government, is to notify a 60-day pause. All right. Now here also there have been recent updates on it. The updates imply that there have been protests. The daily workers have been saying that the total wages, which till now is somewhere around 400 of rupees, should be increased to 700. And also the updates imply that the government has proposed under VBG Ramji that the total number of working days that are being offered are 125 days. This should be increased to 200 days. All right. So do keep all of this in mind. This is important. Then we have new chief ministers who have taken up charges. So 2026, we had elections in West Bengal, Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Assam, and the Union Territory of Puducherry. You need to remember the leaders who have taken charge. So in Tamil Nadu, we have the TVK party under Joseph Vijay, who has been appointed as the chief minister. Then V.D. Satishan of Congress in Kerala, Suvendu Adhikari of BJP in West Bengal, Himant Biswa Sharma of BJP in Assam. This is the second consecutive time that he's been appointed as the chief minister of Assam. And then Bihar also, this year in April, we had a BJP government, a BJP chief minister, Samrat Chaudhary, being appointed. All right. So do keep all of this in mind. Basics for state legislative assemblies, that elections are undertaken on the basis of proportional representation, and the system that is followed is first past the post system. Okay, these are directly elected heads, and this direct election is undertaken by the people themselves, and this system that is followed is the first past the post system. Okay. Then SIR upheld by the Supreme Court, a very important piece of news. Students, the elections can be asked in multiple ways, in the sense that they can ask you, the newly appointed chief ministers this year, they can ask you questions pertaining to the system of elections, voting that are followed. And then naturally, the Election Commission of India is always important. Like we did see 25th of January was a current affair, in the sense that the Election Commission Day, or the National Voters Day, celebrated on 25th of January. Then after this, we've seen removal processes initiated in the parliament against the chief election commissioner. So given all of this information in the current affairs, there is a probability that you may get questions related to elections or the Election Commission of India. This is another important topic over which they could ask you a question, and that is the special intensive revision. All right. Now, the special intensive revision is an exercise where the Election Commission of India particularly seeks to undertake effective and concerted revision, in the sense updation of the electoral rolls, that anybody who has maybe passed away, who has died, who has changed their constituency, shifted somewhere else, etc., somebody's name is incorrect, somebody's date of birth is incorrect, all of these corrections can be made so as to a good better electoral roll is in existence. And also people who don't have effective documents, they could be rooted out. Now this effective document naturally implied citizenship proof. Now why citizenship proof is important for inclusion in electoral rolls is simply this, that elections or the right to vote can only be extended to the citizens of India. It can't be extended to people who are not Indian citizens. Okay. So because it could only be extended to the citizens, that is why the people who couldn't basically prove that they were Indian citizens, they were rooted out from the electoral roll. Right? However, the Supreme Court has upheld the constitutional validity of the Election Commission of India's special intensive revision. Now, the constitutional validity here simply implies that you must have seen in news that after the Election Commission of India had finished off the special intensive revision in Bihar, then Mamata Banerjee had said that this is an incorrect exercise, and even we did see Congress leaders saying that this is an incorrect exercise, and who has given the Election Commission the authority, etc., etc. The Constitution has given Election Commission the authority under Article 324. Okay, Article 324 of the Constitution provides that the direction, control, and superintendence of elections will be undertaken by the Election Commission of India. Plus, it is the duty of the Election Commission to ensure free and fair elections. So, if the direction, superintendence, and control is the work of the Election Commission of India, then naturally revising the electoral rolls is also the work of the Election Commission of India, and this is exactly what has been upheld by the Supreme Court. All right, the Supreme Court has said that the Election Commission has been empowered under Article 324 to undertake or provide for electoral integrity and can undertake similar exercises in other states, etc. Okay. Achha. However, the major problem that came out was the overlap between voter eligibility and citizenship determination. Now, the voters were basically removed from the electoral rolls only on this particular ground that they were not Indian citizens. So, the bench upheld that SIR neither replaces the provisions of the Representation of Peoples Act 1950 nor the Registration of Electoral Rules 1960. Instead, it operationalizes the constitutional mandate under Article 324, the superintendent, direction, and control of elections vested in the Election Commission. It described Article 324 as a continuous wellspring of power, enabling Election Commission to safeguard the sanctity of the democratic process at every stage of election management. Okay. Then further, the court has issued statements saying that the Election Commission can undertake intensive revision, and it has undertaken this after more than 2 decades. It cited rapid urbanization, large-scale migration, etc., etc. That these were the basic reasons that they had to undertake an SIR. Then it also observed that electoral rolls are not static documents and must evolve with demographic and residential changes. All right. Then citizenship, over citizenship, what did they say? That a major feature is that the individual is excluded on citizenship grounds. Now, the court ordered the Election Commission to refer such cases to a competent authority under the Citizenship Act of 1955, in the sense that any tribunal, etc., which has been established specifically to look into cases pertaining to elections and removing voters from the voter list. This effectively brings the Ministry of Home Affairs and mechanisms such as foreigners tribunals into the process. Okay. Then the court simultaneously made 2 observations. Deletions from the voter list does not amount to declaration that a person is not an Indian citizen. Excluded individuals can face adjudication regarding citizenship status. However, this creates a constitutional and administrative contradiction. While the Election Commission scrutiny is termed as prima facie and contextual, the consequences extend beyond mere electoral exercise. Okay? So as of now, we are waiting. However, the Supreme Court has said that it is absolutely fine for the Election Commission of India to undertake this special intensive revision. However, if anybody has been excluded, then naturally they can take their cases to the adjudicating authorities, to the tribunals, foreigner tribunals, etc. Okay. So the next important piece is UCC in Assam. Now, Assam, the cabinet has passed the UCC bill, and this has become the third state after Uttarakhand and Gujarat to pass it, and the first in the Northeast. Before this, before independence, we had Goa, which had a uniform civil code. After independence, we've had two states, Uttarakhand and Gujarat. Also, presently, we have Madhya Pradesh and Chhattisgarh who have set up UCC committees, all right, to establish or to form a uniform civil code for the respective states. Then UCC provisions in India. Article 44 in Part 4 of the Constitution provides for the establishment of UCC for India, but because directive principles of state policies are not justiciable, are not enforceable, that the government is not bound to compulsorily enforce the Uniform Civil Code, the directive principles of state policy. That is why we don't have a UCC at the national level. It is up to the state's wishes that they wish to bring about a UCC or not. What is a UCC? A UCC is a single or a unitary system of personal laws, in the sense that there will be no discrimination pertaining to civil cases and civil laws, in the sense of laws regarding marriage, divorce, inheritance, pertaining to religion. That no law will be different when it comes to marriage, divorce, and inheritance on the basis of religion. It would be same for everybody in the country. Okay. Then the Supreme Court, in various cases like the Salra Mughal case, also in the Shaira Bano case, the Shah Bano case, they did somehow give up rulings which did provide for establishment of a uniform civil code for India. Okay? So do keep all of this information in mind. Key highlights, naturally, like the ones that was undertaken in Uttarakhand, they do say that you have to compulsorily register all marriages and divorces within 60 days. Inheritance includes spouse, children, parents of deceased for inheritance of properties. Live-in relationships have to be registered within 30 days or 1 month, and children born out of live-in relationships to be considered as fully legitimate. Polygamy will be prohibited with imprisonment up to 7 years, and tribal, it will not be applicable to the tribal population. This is very important to keep it in mind. Yeah? Then demographic change committee. This is one topic which is very favorite with Aditya sir. And demographic change committee has been established by the government this year. What is the purpose of the committee? Is basically to scientifically assess the demographic changes occurring in various parts of the country due to illegal immigration and other abnormal reasons, analyze their causes, and recommend appropriate policy, legislative, and administrative measures. All right. This was announced by the Prime Minister last year in August 2025 that they are going to establish a high-powered demography mission, and then it was approved on 11th of September 2025. All right. Who will be the members of this? So Justice Prakash Prabhakar Navlekar, retired, will be the chairman of the committee. To remember their names. In addition to the Census Commissioner, who is the Census Commissioner? Please let me know in the comments. Who is the Census Commissioner of India? In the comments. This year, very important because of the census exercise. All right. Then, in addition to the Census Commissioner, 3 distinguished experts, Durga Shankar Mishra, Sri Balaji Srivastav, Shamika Ravi. Also, Joint Secretary, Minister of Home Affairs will be member secretaries of the committee. All right. This committee is going to submit its report within 1 year. If necessary, its tenure could be extended for another 6 months. The terms of reference to comprehensively deliberate upon challenges arising from demographic changes, including illegal migration. Yes, very good. Mrityunjay Kumar Narayan. All right. Okay. Study possible changes of such demographic changes, such as cross-border activities, identify the underlying factors behind demographic changes, analyze structural occupational changes. Okay, so basically just to look into all the changes that have occurred in the country pertaining to changes in the demography. What is demography? Demography is the basic population structure in a particular region. Okay. Okay, then coming to foreign affairs. Now, the Indian Prime Minister made major headlines last year. What was the headlines that they had made? Is that he had visited Italy And Italy was the major highlight of his foreign affairs tour. Although Italy was the last one that he had visited, but that was the major highlight. However, other than Italy, he's also visited various other countries. Netherlands firstly. Okay, now why is Netherlands basically important? Is because Netherlands had this 11th century Chola inscriptions with Netherlands has now returned to India. So because of the Chola inscriptions, it is significantly important that our Prime Minister visited Netherlands. All right. Okay. So now they've upgraded it to strategic partnership. They've undertaken roadmap of India and Netherlands strategic partnership for next year's partnership on critical raw materials, and also to renew the strategic partnerships on water, which is signed in March 2022 till 2027. All right. Then it returns the 11th century Chola copper plates to India. This is very important, children. Please remember. Okay. It was with the Leiden University, consists of 21 large and 3 small copper plates, which are fastened with a bronze ring, contains the seal of Chola King Rajendra I Chola and also the seal of Kolutunga Chola I. Languages, it is found in 2 languages, Tamil and Sanskrit. These plates were brought to Netherlands in 1912 from Nagapattinam by Florentius Camper. Please, his name is very important. A Dutch missionary associated with the Dutch East Indies Company. All right. It also records grants of Anai Mangalam village to Buddhist Bihar. All right. This is the picture of the copper plates that we are to bring back to India. Okay. So, then India also undertook the India Nordic Summit in 2023 in the third India Nordic Summit in 2026 in Oslo, Norway. These are the 5 nations which make the Nordic countries: Norway, Sweden, Denmark, Finland, and Iceland. Okay. All right. So what were the outcomes? Strategic partnership upgrade, and the most important one has been green technology and innovation strategic partnership. Now, green technology was one thing which was majorly highlighted. Do keep in mind, what is green technology? Anything which makes use of renewable energy, does not undertake release of carbon dioxide, monoxide, etc. into the atmosphere. All right. Then also highlighted the implementation of India EFTA Trade and Economic Partnership Agreement. This particular EFTA agreement was undertaken last year and it has been implemented here. Under this, US dollar 100 billion investments in India has been promoted to create massive employment opportunities. All right. Then also we've talked about democratizing artificial intelligence, securing 5G, 6G. Why democratizing artificial intelligence? Because this was one thing which was highlighted by India in the Artificial Intelligence Impact Summit. Okay. Then announced new framework agreement between ISRO and Norwegian Space Agency. Why? Because they want to participate in India's mission to Venus. This is known as Venus Orbital Mission, and this is known as Shukryan 1. Also highlighted 100% foreign direct investment in Indian defense industry. Okay. Previous summit, India and Nordic countries. The first summit was in 2018. It was in Stockholm, Sweden. The second one was in Copenhagen, Denmark in 2022. This year, the third one took place, and now the next one will be hosted by Finland. All right. Do remember the difference between Nordic countries and Scandinavian countries. So Nordic countries are a group of countries in the Northern Europe consisting of Denmark, Finland, Iceland, Norway, and Sweden. All right. And also all the territories which are associated with these 5 countries. So designation includes the Faroe Islands and Greenland, autonomous islands of Denmark, all islands of these 5 countries. Scandinavia, on the other hand, is a peninsular region of Northern Europe, which primarily refers to Norway, Sweden, and Denmark. So Scandinavia has Norway, Sweden, and Denmark. Nordic has Denmark, Finland, Iceland, Norway, and Sweden. Do remember. All right. Then we also have a Nordic Council. This consists of the 5 Nordic countries as well as all the autonomous regions of these countries. Has 87 parliamentarians established in 1952 and set out the Helsinki Agreement in 1962. Then India and Norway, very briefly, children, don't have to get into the details of it. Just remember that they are also going to create a sovereign investment corridor to foster foreign direct investment into India. What you have to remember that Modi ji has been given the highest award, that is the Grand Cross of Royal Norwegian Order of Merit. All right. Others simply for reading, nothing in detail. They will not ask you questions. Now we have India and Italy. Much headlines made. Again, now they have upgraded their relations to special strategic partnership, trade and investment, targeted to expand bilateral trade to 20 billion euros by 2029. Maritime security dialogue also participate in IMEC development. All right. Just very basics of it, nothing in detail. This is important that declare 2027 as year of culture and tourism between India and Italy. Why is this important? Is because this year India and France have also declared year 2026 as India-France year of innovation. So 2026 is India-France year of innovation, and 2027 is a year of culture and tourism between India and Italy. Okay. So do remember this. All right. Chalo. Next, coming to India, Sweden. Again, very basics, nothing to keep in mind. Just this, that Sweden has also is going to undertake investments in the Shukran or Venus orbiter mission. Okay. All right. Then this is important, the 11th Quad Security Dialogue, because this has been after many years that we have undertaken any Quad meeting. All right. Now, what is Quad? Quad naturally gets its name from the quadrilateral that is formed. This quadrilateral connects 4 countries: India, US, Australia, and Japan. All right. Due to which it is known as the Quad grouping. All right. So, it was held in New Delhi. And what are the initiatives that have been announced? Quad Critical Mineral Initiative Framework, where 20 billion critical minerals will be $20 billion will be invested. Then Indo-Pacific Maritime Surveillance Collaboration Initiative, Indo-Pacific Energy Security, and Indo-Pacific Connectivity to connect all Pacific Island Forum countries undersea cables by 2026. All right. Then basics about Quad. This is what is more important for your exam perspective, that it is an informal grouping between these 4 countries. It was for the first time talked about in 2004. Then it was effectively formalized in 2007 under the leadership of Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe. Okay. Then 2017 revived again after 2007, did not have any concerted meeting. Another meeting took place in 2017, and then Quad exercises, Malabar exercise, which was initially only between India, Japan, and US. Now, since 2-3 years, we've been inviting Australia also for it, due to which now it is informally known as the Quad exercise. Okay. Then Kimberley process, again very important. India has assumed the chair for this Kimberley process certification. The Kimberley process certification is basically a certification or a process that guides the illegal trade, that guides the trade, export, import of diamonds, which are mined in illegal areas, in warring areas. All right. So this year, the chairperson from India is Shri Suchindra Mishra, and India's chair theme this year focuses on 3 C's: credibility, compliance, and consumer confidence. This was established in 2000 and became effective from 2003. International initiative aimed at preventing the flow of conflict diamonds into the legitimate diamond trade. At present, it has 60 participants representing 86 countries, with the European Union and its member states participating in a single block. Now coming to science, technology, and environment. The first is Super El Nino. Okay, this particular award is just an honorary award. It is not a title that he has been given. It is just the highest honor that is bestowed on other countries' members. It is no title that is bestowed. All right. So titles and all can't be taken, but all these honors and awards can be given. Okay. All right. And Motu Pattu, I really want to know your name. Okay. El Nino. Now this year we are anticipating an El Nino. Okay. This year we are anticipating an El Nino. what is El Nino? El Nino, all right. Now, El Nino is basically a phenomena which occurs along the coast of Peru in South America. All right. This particular El Nino is a warm ocean current which warms up the entire Pacific Ocean, and this warming of the Pacific Ocean makes the southwest monsoon winds, which are to hit India. Now, instead of hitting India or coming to India, they get deflected and they get more attracted to the high temperature in the Pacific region, due to which we in India, we experience drought-like conditions. Again, in a little more simpler terms, during the month of June, we have extremely high temperatures in the Indian mainland, all right? Due to this high temperature in the Indian mainland, we get these moisture-laden winds known as the southwest monsoon winds, which are attracted towards the south, towards India, and these monsoon winds, these southwest monsoon winds, are actually attracted to the high temperature in the Indian mainland. And because they travel over the Indian Ocean, they are moisture laden and therefore they give us good quantities of rainfall. However, whenever there is an El Nino phenomena, which is a warm ocean current which occurs here, it raises the temperature of this entire region, and the high temperature that we experience in the Pacific Ocean region is higher than the temperature that we experience in India. Due to which these southwest monsoon winds, instead of getting attracted towards India, they get attracted to the Pacific Ocean. All right. And we in India, we experience drought-like conditions. So this year, the IMD, that is the Indian Meteorological Department, did predict that we are to have an El Nino year. However, now we don't have an El Nino year, we have a super El Nino year, in the sense that the Pacific Ocean will be extremely warm, due to which we will experience much less rainfall as compared to an El Nino. All right. So do remember El Nino, it is important, and there is a probability you may get. Okay. Then involves first Optosar satellite mission Drishti has been launched. All right. What you need to remember, mission Drishti. All right. What is it? It is the world's first Optosar satellite, meaning it integrates two different types of sensors, the optical sensor and a radar sensor. What does it do? It undertakes observation of the Earth's surface. What is the purpose of undertaking observation of the Earth's surface? Just to basically map out changes on the Earth's surface. These changes naturally occur because of climate change. Okay. So this satellite is the world's first satellite which can undertake working with two different types of sensors. It has been developed by Galaxy Eye. It has been supported by InSpace, which is Indian National Space Promotion and Authorized Center, launched by SpaceX Falcon 9 from California, USA. Orbit sun synchronous low Earth orbit at an altitude of approximately 500 kilometers. All right, to overcome limitations of traditional Earth observation satellites, providing all-weather updates. All right. Okay. Then another is, now these are all one-liners that you have to keep in mind with respect to AILET. All right. Now, ecocide is a term that has been continuously, they have had movements, environmentalists coming down on road that ecocide is a term that has been doing the roundabout because of by various environmentalists and activists, etc., which have specifically talked about inclusion of ecocide as one of the war crimes recognized by the International Criminal Court. Okay, and this specifically has been undertaken since Israel attacked, dropped massive bombs and undertook too much destruction of Lebanon. All right. So this again came back into picture. Now, what is the ecocide? Ecocide refers to the most extreme forms of environmental destruction caused by human action, categorized by unlawful or wanton acts committed with the knowledge that they will likely cause severe, widespread, or long-term damage to the environment. So any activity that results in too much of environmental destruction and is naturally undertaken by human, and it has been undertaken with this knowledge that they already know that it is going to bring about such destruction. All right. So it was first coined in 1970 by Professor Arthur W. Galston to describe massive devastation caused by the use of Agent Orange during the Vietnam War. Okay. First codified, Vietnam became the first country to codify ecocide in its domestic law in 1990, following its experience from war-type herbicides. This was basically undertaken simply because Vietnam did undertake massive guerrilla war. So to tackle that, they had used Agent Orange, and then since then it has been they have tried to include ecocide as one of the major war crimes under ICC or International Court of Justice. Okay. All right. Now this year, India is going to be hosting the first IBCA summit. What is IBCA? IBCA stands for International Big Cat Alliance. This International Big Cat Alliance was established in 2023 by our Prime Minister from Mysore, and it was established in 2023 to basically commemorate the 50th anniversary of Project Tiger. Okay. So 2 years later, 3 years later, basically, we have decided to host its first summit in India. So naturally, India has unveiled the logo, and again, because it has been unveiled under the BJP government, it naturally has 5 lotus petals in the symbol, and also it has the 7 tiger species, which are to be 7 tiger species, which are to be basically are to be conserved under the provisions of IBCA. However, now the summit as of now stands cancelled. It has been postponed. Why has that been? It has been postponed because the member countries of IBCA, a large number of them are African countries, and Africa as of now is suffering from the Ebola outbreak, which has been declared by World Health Organization as a major health concern in Africa. All right, so they will be coming to India. It could result in maybe spread of Ebola virus into India. That is why we have, as of now, postponed the summit. Okay. All right. Then Union Minister of Environment, Forest and Climate Change, Bhupendra Yadav, launched the website logo for IBCA. The theme is Save Big Cats, Save Humanity, Save Ecosystem. Logo features 7 big cat species at its core, and also encircled by lotus-inspired design. All right. So every symbol, everything that the government is launching this year consists of the lotus symbol. All right. Okay. Then Saudi Arabia also has become the 26th country to join IBCA. Basics about IBCA: that IBCA was launched in 2023 by India, headquartered in New Delhi in India. Talks about conservation of 7 big cat species. Do remember the number. The number is important. Tiger, lion, leopard, snow leopard, cheetah, jaguar, and puma. Organizational structure: it is a multi-country structure, consists of 26 members and 5 observation nature. All right. Nodal agency is NTCA, which was established in 2006. And NTCA talks about National Tiger Conservation Authority, but it undertakes conservation of other tigers, other big cat species in India. All right. Then the government has launched new fuel standards, 2 of them, IS 19850 and IS 18698. All right. Under this, they have talked about ethanol blending, equivalent to E22, 25, 27, and 30. And the number represents the percentage of ethanol that has to be blended with. Okay. All right. Then next is defense. Mahendragiri, the 6th Nilgiri class ship, has been inducted, has been delivered to the Indian Navy. Under the Nilgiri class, we have 6 other 5 frigates that are Nilgiri, Himgiri, Udaygiri, Dunagiri, Tadagiri, Vindhyagiri, and Mahendragiri. All right. Then defense exercises that were in news: Sinbax, which is between India and Cambodia. Pragati, it is a 12-nation military exercise which India hosted in India, and we had all of these countries who had participated in. All right. Then new defense appointments. We have the appointment of the new Chief of Defense Staff for India. which is General N.S. Raja Subramani. He is the third Chief of Defence Staff. He will succeed General Anil Chauhan, who was the second CDS. The first CDS was General Bipin Rawat, who died in a helicopter crash. Okay. Now, another thing about this CDS, that it was finally recommended by the Shekhatkar Committee in 2016, and it was officially created in 2020. Then also we have the new Chief of Naval Staff, which is Admiral Krishna Swaminathan, which is going to assume charge as the 27th Chief of Naval Staff. All right, and he will be succeeding Dinesh Kumar Tripathi. Then awards. Okay, we have many awards this month. First is Whitley Award, which has been given to Barkha Subba and Parveen Sheikh. All right, why have they received this award? For conservation of Himalayan salamander and Indian skimmer. Whitley Awards are also known as Green Oscars, recognizes grassroots conservation leaders in Global South, also given by the UK charity Whitley Fund for Nature. All right, do remember their names, important. Then we have Pulitzer Prize, which has been won by Anand R.K. and Suparna Sharma. They have won it for their project Trapped in the Illustrated Reporting and Commentary category. And this Pulitzer Prize was established in 1917 through the will of Hungarian-American newspaper magnate Joseph Pulitzer. Initially, it was given in journalism, etc. Now it has been extended to various categories like drama, poetry, journalism, public service, international reporting category, etc. Okay. These are the winners for Pulitzer Prize. We have Anand R.K. and Suparna Sharma. Then FAO Agricola Medal has been given to the Prime Minister. FAO is headquartered in Rome, so naturally when he had gone to Italy, then he was given this particular award. It has been named after Agricola, the Latin word for farmer, and it is basically given for any major activity scheme, etc. that you undertake for the development of your agriculture sector. So since he became the Prime Minister, he has undertaken launching of various schemes like Fasal Bima Yojana, Sichai Yojana, etc., etc. So everything that he has undertaken pertaining to agriculture development, for that he has been given this particular award. It was instituted in 1977, and before him we had Manmohan Singh, who had won this award in 2009. Then we have the International Booker Prize, which has been won by Yang Shuang Zi, and it was his book was translated by Lin King, and they have won this award. It is awarded annually, established in 2005 as Man Booker International Prize, and it is given to books. It is given to literary works which are written in any language but is translated into English. All right. So this year it was given to them. The first Indian winner has been Gitanjali Shri in 2022, and her book Two Works and was translated by Daisy Rockwell. Banu Mushtaq for Heartland won it last year. The book was translated by Deepa Bhashti. Okay. Then the next is Goddard Aeronautics Award. This has been given to Chandrayaan 3. All right. So do keep it in mind. Then Dag Hammar's Gold Award. This has been given to Lance Havildar Harbhajan Singh and Naib Subedar Sujit Kumar Pradhan. All right, because they were serving basically in the UN peacekeeping missions and they passed away while serving in the mission. Then other than that, we've also received the UN Military Gender Advocate of the Year Award. This has been given to Army Officer Major Abhilasha Parag. Then we have personality for the month of May, which is Rabindranath Tagore. Very basics about Rabindranath Tagore that you have to keep in mind, that his birthday is commemorated as Poisi Se Boishakh. Rabindranath Tagore, born on 7th May 1861 in Calcutta. He is a poet, he's a playwright, he's a composer, philosopher, social reformer, painter, and is basically known as the pivot of Bengal Renaissance. His most acclaimed work has been Gitanjali. Then it was in 1913 that he made history by being the first non-European, being the first Asian, and being the first Indian to be bestowed the Nobel Prize in Literature. Okay. Then because he was given the Nobel Prize in Literature and he was the first Indian, first non-European to receive a Nobel Prize in Literature, he was also given a knighthood by the English monarch. And by giving this knighthood, he was extended the title of Sir by the British monarch. And then he later gave up his knighthood. He renounced his knighthood in protest of the Jallianwala Bagh massacre in 1990. All right, he was affectionately known as Bard of Bengal. He was also given the Fellowship of Royal Asiatic Society, earned titles like Gurudev, Kabi Guru, and Vishwa Guru, Vishwa Kabi, sorry. Wrote the national anthem from India for India and Bangladesh. So for India, it is known as Jan Gan Man. For Bangladesh, it is Amar Sunar Bangla. And is also said to be or believed to be inspired the national anthem for Sri Lanka as well. Then he established the Vishwa Bharati University and Shanti Niketan School in West Bengal. And this Shanti Niketan has been given a UNESCO World Heritage Site recognition in 2023. All right. About Jan Gan Man, do remember it was established as it was written in Sanskritized Bengali, and its original title was Bharto Bhagyo Vidhata. It was sung for the first time in 1911 Calcutta session, and that entire rendition was led by his niece and I'm forgetting her name, Sarla Devi Chaudharani. And then it was adopted as the national anthem for India on 24th of January 1950. All right. Other than that, in 1950, it was adopted as in Sanskritized Hindi. Then its Hindi version, Subh Shukh Chain, was also adopted as the anthem of the provisional government of Indian National Army. All right. So that is all with respect to everything important that you need to keep in mind for the May current affairs. All right. I hope it was clear. And further details and other topics which are also relevant but not as important will be given to you in the May. All right. So I hope it was a good session. I hope it was a fruitful session. I hope things were clear to you. I hope now you know what are the important topics with respect to current affairs that you have to keep in mind. And I'll see you all soon with the next one. Thank you, children, and happy learning. Bye bye.